back to this Move, Sweat and Suffer podcast. You're here with co-founders Lee Hazard, myself, Joe Hotai, and our guests, hopefully to come, who's 10 minutes late, Igor Filins, otherwise known as Zero Gravity. Sorry, bro, I cut you off. You're about to say something.
Oh, nothing. I was just, I was going to say nothing. I can't even remember now. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I hate people that are late.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go to bed. I've got to get ready to go to work. And
Yep, exactly.
this is
Whereas he's lounging about a park in fucking New York,
New York.
looking at yourself in a mirror.
Null and void, zero gravity. Could you please send me a link so I can paste in the app? Mate, just click the link in your email. That's what I'll send him. Just click. This is the back and forth. Just click the link in your email. Send. Jeepers. What the heck? We've not had this before. This is actually, we were talking about before, we had a delay with James, but at least he was on. He was on there and it was just getting sorted on the right.
With James because you could see him. It was like, do you ever remember that movie Poltergeist when the TV eats the wee girl? She's there, but you can't really communicate.
We're communicating through IG right now at the moment. So yeah, bit of a mission at this stage. But you know what? Probably I should have just left this recording when we were doing our catch up because you spoke about a whole lot of funny stuff, which I could have kept in there. But anyway, we'll get to it the next catch up.
Yeah, definitely.
Right now though, we're just waiting for old mate from Siberia to
I think he's using a like a dial-up internet in Siberia right now.
Well, we were talking about, weren't we? He's probably going through a Windows update, and if it's anything like your one, because he hasn't dusted off his laptop for however long, it's probably going to take 4 hours.
I'm sure he told me he was using his fiance's laptop.
Oh right, okay.
So obviously he doesn't know he's work his way around it.
Maybe he's trying to do it on his phone. That might be why he scanned the QR code. But I've just replied, said, bro, just hit the go to studio link in the email. What's he got now? There's another one. View photo. Studio on your phone is only available from our mobile. Use Riverside app. What is he? I see it here. What the heck? Studio on your phone is only available from our mobile. Use Riverside's iOS. You can also join from a desktop computer. So he's obviously using some sort of desktop. Mate, this is what I'm putting up with this morning. That's the screenshot they're taking.
I can't even see it. Jesus Christ, we might just have to abort this one.
Sent a photo. It might end up being aborted. Hang on, let me try.
I was looking really forward to this as well.
Yeah, I got some other questions from too, other than just those quick fire ones that I threw at you. Hey bro, are you using Google Chrome? And have you got a laptop or desktop? Desktop you can use. Add on. View photo, sent another photo. Well, hit join. He sent me a photo. You are about to enter as a guest. Are you sure? I'm like, yes, bro. Hit yes. It's got zero gravity. Join. Hit the join. Mate. Hit join.
Oh, God almighty.
Here we go. He's in the waiting room. Finally. Admit.
Oh my God, I think I'm finally here, guys.
Dobro утро.
Добрый день. Can you see me well, or maybe I should just...
No, we could see you there. the way you got it there.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I never, I thought it's just gonna be like a YouTube, and somehow I didn't think it would be a problem, but I'm
All
sorry
good.
for made you wait. How are you doing?
All good, brother.
Good,
We're
very
good.
good, mate.
Хорошо, хорошо. Очень
Хорошо.
хорошо.
Очень хорошо. Can you hear me well, by the way?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay,
It's a-
wonderful.
All right then, brother. Well, thank you for coming on, being here. I'm going to do a quick intro. We've already hit the record button, and we'll dive into it from there. Is that all right with you?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. All right then. Welcome back, everybody, to this Move, Sweat, and Suffer podcast with your co-founders Lee Hazard and myself, Joe Hotai. We're privileged to have the incredible Igor Filins. Is that how it's
Filins.
Filins?
Filins, S, I have it in my passport.
Yeah.
Because originally I'm without S, but
Okay.
in my passport S, and people use S in my name, so that's fine.
All right, Igor Filins, otherwise aka known as Zero Gravity, for those through his Instagram and YouTube channel. Brother, welcome. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Likewise, mate. We're going to dive into. We've got some questions for you, and some other bits and pieces which will come up, no doubt, while we're speaking with you. But I guess for me, because I've seen some of your stuff on your YouTube channel, on your Instagram, a lot of work and stuff that you do in terms of the training and fitness and your opinions and stuff around nutrition and that as well, which is quite interesting. But first, I thought I'd start with a couple of easier questions. How old are you, Igor?
I am 32 and a half.
32 and a half. And your profession, what's your profession? Is it a health and fitness personal trainer? Do you do something else other than this? What's your
My
profession?
profession is health, fitness. I don't want to use this word fitness. Let's say
Right.
health training, consultation, and assistance.
Awesome.
I have been in the area for quite a while. I have been in different positions, including the personal trainer, the gym instructor.
Yeah.
But lately, I have grown to more so consultant than one-on-one training person.
Nice. And is that consultancy stuff, is that your own little business, your own personal thing, or do you do it as part of a bigger company or whatever?
Not at all. No, it's hard to call business. I just help people, whoever need me. I provide one-on-one consultations and other options. But eventually, it's going towards that way. But I'm just a simple person who is helping people, but I want to make it global. And right now, that's the direction I'm going towards.
Awesome. That was going to be one of my questions later on. I'll come back to that a bit later on. And so what got you, my next question before I let Lee jump in there is, what got you started into doing this and putting yourself out there, Igor? What got you into this health and training and exercise and all that sort of stuff in the first place?
I guess you're talking about YouTube and social media.
Not just that, but just your journey into this, the health and training and exercise regularly in the first place. Are you a former athlete in something, or how did all of that come about?
So if you are talking about the physical training
Yeah.
aspect in general, I have been through so many paces of that. I was always athletic kid. At a certain part of my life, I stopped doing any physical activity, switched to video games. That's maybe partially I get inspiration from video game names. And then at the age of 14, I started going to the gym. My goal was always to be athletic, to be healthy, but I was completely redirected from that towards bodybuilding, weightlifting, and everything that goes against my goal. So my
Right.
journey technically started at 14 years old, because
14.
as I think back then, I had exactly the same goals that I have right now. It's just the idea of maintenance and progress is different,
Awesome. Thanks for that, Igor. Appreciate it. Man, that's cool. Lee?
So Igor, what was the switch from bodybuilding into your current approach? What was the instigator, or what drove that transition?
Ali, that's a wonderful question. That's a really wonderful question. And the answer would not be short. And don't mind me explaining why. Again, I get back to the beginning of my journey. I never wanted to bulk up, to be heavyweight, to compete on a bodybuilding. I just wanted to be athletic. I was under wrong influence because I didn't have any knowledge. I started growing, started using certain type of chemical steroids and all that. But let's say I had the chapters in my life when my life obstacles had to put me away from that weightlifting lifestyle. And weightlifting lifestyle is just when you lift weights, you're comfortable, you're big, and nothing else matters. Now, first that happens when I got a divorce. I was feeling comfortably at I weighed at about 240 pounds, lifting weights, blah, blah, blah. Then divorce, 2 months, I'm below 200. And I look at myself in the mirror, I like this guy. But because the only idea that I thought that can, keep me training is the weightlifting and gym stuff and machines, I was always getting back to that. So it's kind of, let's say I lose weight, I lose the shape due to some obstacles. And then when everything gets better, I get comfortable, I start lifting. So long story short, for about since 2014, so close to 8 years, I had several moments where I reminded myself that I actually feel better when I'm skinnier, when I'm lifting my own body weight, and when I'm not going towards that mass and everything. But the main change in my head happened actually during this past quarantine, because I found individualism. I found self-identification in the calisthenic world. And my self-identification is, I'm not the strongest. I definitely can't even do a muscle up, but I can provide people with my creativity. And my creativity is creating new combinations all the time. And I started doing that, first of all, for my friends. We went for about a year training where I was writing programs for all of us. During quarantine, we were training, practicing. Some workouts were more than 2 hours, but we did all that. And then at one point, I decided, I was invited for a collaboration with a gentleman called Goku Pump. He's famous on YouTube. It's my friend. And coming there, I thought like I'm gonna look like a, not as good as him, let's say, or all these people, because I can't compete with them in certain exercises. But then when I actually discovered that YouTube thing and everything that's happening on that playground is a wonderful energy, and the people are sharing knowledge with each other, and there's not such a thing as the strongest as the weakest. Everybody in the same community. So I fell in love with that because I felt alive. And at that moment, so guys, generally in my life, I always wanted two things. I wanted to have a purpose. And like I felt no purpose me being in the gym and trying to help people who don't want to help themselves. And I felt I'm a part of something destructive rather than creative. And that was killing me up to this particular quarantine when finally I discovered that I'm going to use my creativity to give people what I can create for them, to practice it together. And then my life just became from caterpillar to butterfly, because I started having purpose in something that I love, and that was the biggest realization.
Do you think, like, it was interesting that you mentioned that you didn't want to help people that didn't want to help themselves, and do you think that sort of reflects your current view of the fitness world, having been a personal trainer and been upfront, close and personal with these people?
Lee, I really appreciate you, but your accent is so thick. Could you repeat your question, please?
Null and void.
I tried to
Your
understand
question
the
is null and
question.
void.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, right, okay, right. I've actually forgot what I asked now. You've completely threw me off with that there.
You were
What?
talking about gym.
Yeah, having been a personal trainer, and mentioning that you didn't want to help people that don't want to help themselves. Would you say that that's something that has shaped your current viewpoint of the fitness industry as a whole?
Yes, this and a lot of other examples did shape my current point of fitness view. Yes.
I love how you've spoken, Igor, so openly and honestly. You mentioned, and I wouldn't mind if you wouldn't mind coming back to it. So Lee asked a great question about that. What was the switch or the reason or the catalyst, whatever you want to describe it as, in terms of switching from that bodybuilding piece? And you spoke really raw and honestly about you started taking substances like steroids. You got to 240 pounds. You spoke very personal and private topic about the divorce that you went through, and then 2 months later finding yourself, the self-identification process. I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind speaking about, so with regards to steroids and that, how long were you taking that for, and what caused you to stop taking steroids? Was it because you realized you weren't wanting to be this big mammoth person moving around and you were happier being lean and skinny? What stopped you from taking that all?
I was lucky. I was lucky, first of all, because what stopped me is really the combination of facts that I was lucky to pay attention to and change my decision towards a good way. Now, about you asked me about taking them for how long. Let's say I had my first experience when I was 17.
Wow.
And you know how it happens. I was explaining in one of those videos. I was the guy who wanted to get everything right away, right now. I didn't want to wait. And of course, the people, sharks, approached me, said, take this, this, this. And without any discipline, without any knowledge, nothing was happening. I was just getting bloated. Then somebody else tells you, you're taking orals. Phew, come on, nothing's going to happen. You need to do injectables. Then you do injectables again, and there's no knowledge. I was just blowing up. And I found that a comfort zone. I always wanted to wanted to belong to athleticism. I wanted to believe that I have my own, that I'm doing something special and practical and beneficial for myself, at least. I was holding up to the illusion of gym. And when you're being in that gym, surrounded by gym people, the people who know what I'm talking about, you know what kind of conversations you're surrounded by. Bro, what's your bench? You need to get bigger, talk to this guy. And I was part of that. And how I have to admit, my steroid taking was completely chaotic. Not only that I wanted to try this and that. One time I made a bet that I will inject the whole 10 milliliter bottle of testosterone in my ass, and I did it because I lost. I think I did two of the bets like that. So it's hard to describe how stupid I was. But what actually, and I was chasing some kind of illusion that I have a great genetics. Just one day I'm going to get lean and I'll compete and I'll beat everybody else. But for now, I'm gaining mass. But if I dig deeper to my thoughts at that time, it was just escape. So I just want to push something. I want to feel athletic. So I'll do this and that, be bigger, maybe look intimidating. Now, what made me stop is just, first of all, I couldn't afford spending money on that kind of, type of things. And secondary, I just found it completely unnecessary. And then after a while, I actually went through this full monitor of blood tests and everything else, endocrinology. And I was really scared before that they will find something, and they didn't. And I remember that moment, how I really thanked God that I'm glad I'm out of that. But of course, I'm not out of that. Whatever I took, it's still there to a certain extent in my body. And it would be naive to say I'm clean. No, you're not. I mean, and better never do it. But in my case, I appreciated that my hormonal system did not collapse.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how much better it could be if I would never had experience with that.
Wow.
You know, so just the whole realization based on so many different experiences that I saw in my friends, realized by myself. So it's luck because I was able to understand it. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't see it.
Man, thanks for sharing that, Igor. That's
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
you just yeah, just blown away. And I guess with this next question, you don't need to answer it if you don't want to, obviously. But I just really appreciate the honesty that you're sharing because I think our listeners are going to gain a lot from hearing you. I know I am just right now. But do you think that, or did so? You just come in touching on the piece that you mentioned about your divorce that you went through. Do you attribute that potentially to the steroid use and stuff, or whatever that was happening at the time, mate? Or
No, no. Luckily, I never had any emotional breakdown on steroids,
okay,
but I know people did. What I try to explain in this case is that
mm,
you are athletic, you're strong, you believe you're strong, you're big, intimidating, life obstacle. Forget about all that. So it's an illusion. You're not strong, you're not intimidating, you're not, like, you're weak. Something that you love so much, sport and athleticism, it's it's self-respect, it's a strength, is that type of activity where you go when you're angry, when you're but the gym activity, it was an illusion. So when I faced real life obstacles, it was easier for me to get that out of the picture. It was like a anchor, get
weighing
out.
you
but
down. Yeah.
but yeah, but let's say, and here's the great opportunity to say, and actually, so I went through the period, lost a lot of weight, was drinking, stuff was happened. My
Mm,
dad brought me back home, and I, with a lost weight below 200 pounds, back home
mm,
to Latvia. And then I discovered calisthenics. So calisthenics, because I was doing push-ups, pull-ups, just on a chair, whatever. I was weak, I couldn't do much, but I was enjoyed the body weight training. I just realized that. So saying that, yes, divorce, I'm big, anchors dropped, recovered, calisthenics, something that made me alive.
mm.
But then again, I reached a certain comfort, and again, I went to the weightlifting. So that's what I'm saying. It's like weightlifting, bodybuilding. It's so comfortable that it's so addictive. It's always easier to just go do machine than go jump rope. It's easier to just do pec deck or leg press than to just throw kettlebell for supersets. So that's what I'm saying. It's like comfort. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah,
So
awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point that, like, when you start to embark on a calisthenics based journey, it takes the pressure of aesthetics away because it's not a training modality that's designed towards aesthetics. Whereas bodybuilding, weightlifting, you're always wanting to look a certain way and you never really achieve it. So you've always got that pressure. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And you're never really finding the answer. And then when you start to embark in calisthenics or bodyweight training, that disappears. But then what you notice happening is that the aesthetics start to become accelerated. You start to look and feel a whole lot better, and you buy into the training, and which then ensures that it becomes even more productive.
Yeah, good points. Great points. And how are you? So, with regards to when did you stop? So, how long have you stopped using? Sorry, you might have already mentioned it, but I probably missed it. How long has it been since you stopped using steroids?
2013, so
2030.
close to 10 years, 9 years, 8 years.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, man. Good for you. That's great to hear. And again, mate, that's really insightful. I wasn't expecting that to hear you talk about stuff like that, and so really grateful for you doing that. I guess my question, which may be a little bit off the cuff, do your tattoos mean anything? And when did you start getting tattoos, mate?
You know what I say? Tattoo is an art, first of all. You always
Yeah.
find meaning if you have money to invest.
Mm.
If you transfer money me right now, I'll find a meaning to put a tattoo.
Yeah.
But I started 14 years ago when I was 18. But that
Right.
first tattoo I did with a friend, with some, it was hilarious. So we had two people, kids, believe they're friends. And we decided to do a tattoo. And I had to go first, and he had to go next week. And it was like Chinese writing, friendship forever. Really funny. And I did the tattoo, and he didn't. And I felt so stupid. And that stayed with me. And eventually I covered it up with some other stuff.
Yeah.
My tattoos is just something that I like,
Yep.
but it's also, represents certain maybe type of my personality, because I don't know, I don't mind having the ink on my body. I
Yeah.
take everything easy in this life, but for some people it may be different. For me it's easy. Sometimes I even forget that I have ink, but I have plenty of meaning and nothing global.
Awesome. Sorry, Lee.
So Igor, how did you make the evolution into your current style of training? Like you say, you went home and you were doing basic calisthenics, push-ups, dips, chin-ups. How did you then find yourself adopting your current training style, which I find very unique?
You're talking about the zero gravity logo or the training style?
The training style.
So training style. Uh, so it's interesting thing. So my workouts based on leg workouts, right? Oh, my dominative part is legs, and I always hated my legs. And again, thanks to the gym, I always hated my legs. I'll tell you why. Because I'm pretty tall guy. For the gym people, 184 centimeters, 6'1", and let's say even when I was 250, 260, I was that weight too in my days. I was squatting maybe 4 plates, maybe 5 plates for a little bit, but nothing serious. And my ass was growing most. My ass and a little bit of thighs. And I'm like, why I like my legs are supposed to be like that? I don't like it. And then when I dropped all this bodybuilding stuff, again, I practiced a lot of moves in calisthenics. And I discovered that I have explosive high knee jumps. So then I figured it out that I have dominating fast muscle fibers genetics in my legs. And I started using it. I felt like I'm somebody who still can chase the athletic dream. And that's why I started practicing with the difficult elements, the most effective in my opinion. I started getting incredible results. And that's why I called my project, first of all, Zero Gravity, because I try to be always in the air, and cardiovascular calisthenics, because it takes a lot of energy. Now, the evolution on the logotype is like from the monkey to the like basic evolution, and then you see the guy who is like almost like an Iron Man. So the goal of mine is I want people to evaluate to athletic wise human with technology. So if that regular chain is just showing the regular chain of evolution, me adding to that this almost Iron Man is the smart guy who takes the most from evolution with technology. So it's like the same purpose of health, bodyweight calisthenics, functionality, but just upgraded because we have it. You know what I mean? So and that's why when I create workouts, I'm like, sometimes I put a thought of some video game, nano suit, this one, because that's how I see it. I see myself like jumping higher. I see myself running faster. Well, maybe not running, but jump roping faster. I see myself doing all that cool stuff, Yes, human athleticism with technology. That is zero gravity.
So do you get, like, when you talk about being a consultant, do you get clients that come to you wanting to train like you? Or do you get people that they want to be trained a certain way and you have to adapt your training style to cater for them?
I usually scare away people who look at what I do. They tell me, I've seen your YouTube, but I can't do that, But it's like, You don't have to do that. I mean, I'm showing what I do, and I'm trying to show people what they can do. I wasn't always like that. It took me a time, you know. But talking about the people, most people just have their own goals, you know, and those goals are different. Sometimes the people have delusional goals, you know, they want to be big, but they don't want to be so big. And then you find out that they just want to have a little bit of abs, and that's all what they want. So the people who, I wouldn't say want to be like me because I don't like it. I'd say the people who want to who want to train the idea of zero gravity, they, for them the door is open on my Telegram community. There's plenty of people, you know, 60 or something, working out under my guidance. I just explain them how it's done, and they're trying the stuff that I post. I give them, I post the stuff the day before, so they have one day to prepare and they can go for the same workout. So those are who willing to try the extreme stuff, as I call it, they're welcome to, you know what I mean? But the people, everybody else requires different approach, and it mostly least about the training performance and most about the visual look and health. You know, nobody wants, that's what I don't understand. Nobody wants to be strong and athletic. Everybody just wants to look strong and athletic. Nobody comes to me say I want to be stronger. No, I want to lose this. It's like, you know what I mean? Priorities distorted.
Awesome, man. That's a great outlook. I love how you've shared that, and you make some really good points. I think there's some people, particularly in the burpee community. I'm not sure what you've seen or what your take is, but I know for myself, it's probably just more about I just want to move as well as I can for as long as I can. Definitely not looking to be explosive and dynamic and all that sort of stuff these days. Like for me, that time is over. But I love seeing people moving towards and striving to reach their goals. And I love how you spoke about your journey and your transition and what zero gravity means. And I was just wondering, my next question that I've got for you is around what made you, what was the decision then to put yourself out there on YouTube, on Instagram?
Well, I was always on Instagram and all that. It's just my profile is filled up with the trashy pictures and all that. And that's why it's private. But YouTube, I try it. You know, when I remember, guys, I always try to do something there, but not like you see it right now. I tried to post a video, expected it to get like so many likes, and it didn't. Like, I never grew my YouTube.
Yeah.
What happened is, again, I told you I went to collab with the Goku pump, and
Yeah.
I found that people there are amazing, respectful. They look fantastic, but they're willing to help, to support. I thought maybe I had a completely wrong idea of that community. Everybody there looks fantastic, and I'm like, whoa, what the heck I'm gonna do there? Come on, man. But then I was able to understand what is it all about. Then I was able to identify my individualism, because again, I spent quite amount of time before I actually stepped on that collaboration and before I started YouTube, because I already knew approximately how I'm gonna make my programs. Because guys, I used to build like set number 1, 20 exercises, set number 2, 20 exercises. It was like, you know, I was starting doing it. I'm like, oh my God, what did I wrote? It ended up to be thousands of different kind of extreme exercises. And going through all that, I was able to utilize all that in a nice workouts, have an idea of what exercise, how long can you go, how many reps and sets. And I found my idea being on YouTube, and my idea was sharing workouts, editing all by myself, just rather do something than nothing. And the Goku pumping community inspired me because I didn't feel like I'm a loser. But then I got lucky to get on a That's Good Money channel with George, and up till this day, it's also one of the greatest person in community, with the attitude, respect, and responsibility, and everything else. And then I actually gave it a try to because I figured out like I'm okay in pull-ups for my body weight and my experience, but I'm nothing comparing to the guys who are there. So I have to do something that's mine, and that's what I
Yeah.
found in leg workouts. And when I gave it a try to bring my leg workout, I was surprised that people can do this, and I was like, okay, and that inspired me not to try to win people or show people who's stronger. That inspired me that I can do something, I can present something that people may benefit from. And then I got, I think, 300,000 views on that workout, and that instantly made me self-believe. But that's nothing comparing to what I read in comments when people say they try my workout. Somebody says, I tried this workout with a son, God bless you. Like, for that, that's why I'm here. If I die today, I lived with a purpose. And in my personal life, priorities, philosophy, spirituality, nothing can be better than this. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
give part of me to this, and I love it. And I'm going to keep doing that, of course,
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I felt something similar when you did my challenge with the burpees and the jump squats. It always gives me a great feeling knowing that there's a guy in New York who's attempting a workout that I've created. So yeah, I definitely know where you're coming from when you speak about like just feeling that sort of that love when someone takes something that you've created and tries it out themselves and benefits from it.
That's awesome. Hey, I was going to ask, and those are great points that you've mentioned, but I sort of skipped over, and I just wanted to go back a little bit, Igor, if it's all right. Your background, mate. Like, where are you from, and how did you end up in Brooklyn, New York? Is that where you are now?
Yes.
Can you talk us through that?
Yes, of course. So I was born in the country called Soviet Union. I mean, at that time it was big combination of republics. In 89, in 91 it separated, but it was a big country. It's like you go from California to New York, and then suddenly California becomes country of California, and New York becomes country of New York, and you need visa, So that was, my parents were working in Latvia and flying back here I was born in Siberia, in Irkutsk. So it was close to the border of Mongolia. But then when Soviet Union separated, I grew up in a country called Latvia.
Yeah.
So, and in 2010, I had a chance to apply for the visa. It was not like a visa, electronic visa called ESTA, and come to see the son of my father's friend who was studying in Raleigh, North Carolina. Then I had a chance to go to New York, kind of for a trip. It's really funny, but I'm going to slightly tell you what happened. So I met somebody and I ended up living here. Nicely, without any contract. Well, it just happened, and that was my ex-wife, obviously, who I'm having lovely daughter from. So, but my trip, my situation here was completely not planned at all.
Yeah.
So eventually here in New York, so I was living in Connecticut, got divorced, lived in New York, in different places. I lived in Astoria, I lived in Jackson Heights, and then ended up living in Brooklyn. And now in Brooklyn, I'm living since when I came back from Thailand with my fiance right now. So we're living in Brooklyn for 2 years. And this is probably my first legit comfortable apartment with a cat in America. You know what I mean? So that was long story short. You asked me where I've been, so that's where I've been.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Thanks
I
for
can see
that.
the cat stuff in the video sticking out of the wall.
Yes, that's
It's good as an obstacle course.
Calisthenics for cats.
yeah.
And you mentioned
Exactly.
Thailand. Were you there doing Muay Thai and that sort of thing? I've seen one of your videos kicking one of those punching things.
My
It's a sharp
friends,
looking kick.
I see if you ask me about Thailand, and I
Yeah.
have to tell you my story about Thailand. I just have to, because then it's another magic.
Yeah.
Thailand gave me a huge impact on my view of sports and everything. But who did more impact is the woman that I met before Thailand, and who I went to live with in Thailand. So I was in that weightlifting world, completely depressed and all that, and then I see a woman, and I'm falling in love, and she is so cool, and she is so, we get along very well, and she's athletic. She's Muay Thai fighter, amateur. And then I find out she's leaving to Thailand to live there. And at that time, I didn't have too many responsibilities in my life, so I had a choice to pay rent or not pay rent. And there were weird obstacles and conditions, and I felt like if I don't follow her, I'll lose myself. And I bought one-way ticket to Thailand, and I went to Thailand. And we were living there for 3 months. I completely got introduced to Muay Thai, to wild living, to functional training. And I understood that all of that weightlifting does not matter. I remember my first jump rope experience there, this and that. And that's exactly where I learned the Thai boxing and everything else. And then in 3 months after, we came back together. So it's kind of, I came there for her, but then we came back together. It was my craziest sacrifice in life, and it was win in a good way, because that, we're here together and all that. It's beautiful. But I came back, and since that Thailand moment, I started thinking already towards functional training. I did not have balls to just come to the gym and start lifting. I started including cardiovascular warm-up, at least, because I started feeling guilty going back to comfort. And it was a fight between functional and weights up till quarantine. Quarantine said, stop with the weights,
Yeah.
enough. And that's why when people tell me, did you suffer during quarantine and all that, I say, no, it changed my life. It completely changed my life,
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That's
Yeah, of
very,
course.
very cool. And I love how you acknowledge the pieces of your life that you've openly shared with us about your time, Serbia, and then growing up in Latvia, and the people that you've shouted out too. So that Goku Pump and That's Good Money, really appreciate the way that you acknowledge them and the impact that they've played in your life, and this special lady that's played a key part in your life in Thailand. And thank you for sharing those stories. I wanted to ask about because you do a few things, like you're training at a gym. Is that a gym that you're a member of, and then you train in parks and all that sort of thing? So how does that go down when people see you set up your camera and you're doing your trainings and stuff in the gymnasium?
That's a great question. I have been in quite amount of different gyms before I got to this one. And everywhere I was witnessing issue. Not only with my camera, forget about camera, just me being on the same spot with a kettlebell for more than 5 minutes. When are you done? No. And then, I have to give a space, and then somebody comes there, yoga mat.
And the texting.
Forget about the camera, yeah. So not everybody, but a lot.
Yeah.
So this gym is local gym in Brooklyn, and those people are very nice. So luckily, nobody. Well, I had a couple of incidents, but I explained, like, instead of going to a front desk, just tell me, I'll move a camera. Everybody likes to tell the front desk, and then I have to figure out. I start looking that everybody is against me, because I know that somebody told them, but I sort of suspicion everybody.
Who was it? Yeah.
Yeah. This gym is pretty cool, but I go there at the right time too. I go there very early in the morning, least amount of people there and there. And yeah, usually, yeah, that's the best gym actually. I'm lucky, but interior could be better, But I do what I can.
Awesome. Awesome. And what about, and is it the same? Because it looks like you got different areas when you go out in the public, like there's fields and then you're back at this park where there's all the bars and stuff. Are those the two main places, or are there a handful of key places that you go to, or is it always different where you are?
I usually go to the one that's closest to my house, and
Yeah.
it's Hamilton School playground. And but because I sweat, I'm dirty, I'd prefer to drop the equipment and shower and do my things.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I go on a collaboration, there's certain favorite places.
Nice.
Yeah. There's always plenty of playground to work out.
Yeah, definitely. And your point of difference, if I've been listening right, from what you feel and have found with yours, is the leg focus. Would that be fair? The leg focus in terms of your training. So there's a lot of emphasis on the leg work that you do and the explosiveness that you do. Is that your unique point of difference that you feel for you with regards to your videos and stuff?
It's just I can say I understand body pretty well. It's not like I understand legs more than I understand arms or shoulders.
Yeah.
What it is here, I guess it's just visually. My legs are bigger. I can, if I show my upper body comparing to those guys, there's nothing impressive. It's just I have genetics like that. Some people with the 20 pounds less will stay with me, look bigger, just the bone structure and all that. And actually, that's what I left in bodybuilding. I am who I am, and I just decided that, legs will be my kind of, how to say, my most important part. But also, legs are very instrumental. Everything starts with legs. It's a fundamental. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I see it.
Awesome.
So I was wanting to talk about this Liver King video you made as well, Igor.
So, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's. I noticed you've made a video about the Liver King, and it's obviously it's a. I don't want to say. I don't want to say it's an expose of sorts, but you seem to be like taking a bit of umbrage with what this guy promotes. And do you feel that your background, having taken these substances yourself, do you think that stirs a bit of passion within you, so that you then decide to make these videos, calling these people out to a certain degree?
It's a combination of things. It's first of all, there's no hate in what I do. I don't hate anybody. I just practically try to explain people what it is really about, because for so many times I got misled. And it's okay, I got misled, did some cycles, got my blood test, got wiser, good. Some people, by just looking at that Liver King, will get in that trap of bodybuilding, which will evaluate of them taking steroids and maybe dying. So people don't understand that I talk about Liver King not because I want to show myself that I'm better, or maybe my philosophy or training is better. It's because you guys, Liver King will lead you to that bodybuilding brain and addiction that will be not easy to get out from. And that's why it will, those people like Liver King will distort your understanding of what it is to be strong, what it is to be athletic. And I think what it is to be ancestor is not allowed to use this word together with Liver King in one sentence, What if you talk about ancestors, yes, of course they ate meat. Yes, of course they were wild, but their portions, maybe what Liver King eats in a day, that would be good for the whole village for like a week. You know what I mean? And if there would be somebody like a Liver King, they will cut him, and surf for the next 2
Serve 'em.
weeks. You know what I mean? So the whole idea of the liver king and ancestor, it's like making people believe that they like, it's as I said, it's touching sacred. People already get misled of who they should be, you know. That's, and ancestors are probably turning in their graves right now listening to that. So I'm against that. And second thing is, because I experienced all that, I lost a lot of time. I see people getting misled, and that kind of bodybuilding motivation leads somebody to grave. And I feel that it's coming out of me, and I want to share, you know. So I feel like it's just something that I want to say to people.
It seems to me though that it comes from a good place ultimately, because you're wanting to help people. You don't want them to make the same mistakes that you would have made taking these cycles and so
Uh,
forth.
yes, of course, from the good place. Yes, absolutely. And even if I talk about bodybuilding, I do not talk about against weightlifting. I'm saying that your training it should not be machines and gym exercises. You should like not disable you. If you can take that dumbbell, if you can explosively throw it with a great form, know what you're doing, you know, and it can practically benefit your human anatomy, then sure. But the bodybuilding idea and the fitness and the gym idea is just all about training muscles that you don't need for the money that you don't have.
Yeah.
I just
and,
came up with this.
and or ending up with money or ending up with no money. Yeah,
Yeah,
hard case.
that's what
Man,
it
great.
is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Igor. And I love, like Lee said, it seems like it's coming from a good place. And I love how you clarified that. Like, you're not hating on anybody. You're just giving your thoughts based on some pretty raw experiences that you've had. And it's another way in which you're trying to contribute and help people to hopefully not make those same mistakes or be stuck in those same ruts. So that's a great point to hear you share and talk about from your experience. How many languages do you speak, Igor?
I speak fluently too, but if I spend a little bit of time on Latvian, I would remember
Yeah.
2.5.
Awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Well,
And
hopefully, you can speak three by the end of this podcast. He might have learned
yeah,
Scottish for the first time.
Oh yes, yes, definitely.
awesome. I was going to ask you with regards to. So I haven't seen the whole video yet, but you did a collab of going up the stairs. And do you plan to do and do you do collaborations each week, each month, or are they just off the cuff when they happen, or?
Um, you know, there's always collaborations available. You can always show up on collaboration, and that's what it's great for, because it's not like it's super. No, like guys work out, you join, and that's everybody's welcome who
Yeah.
is willing to work out.
Yeah.
But not so many collaborations are beneficial in my case. And what do I mean by that? See, I don't want to go on a collaboration trying to do push-ups on speed. I know I pretty much know my push-up level. I have certain technique. I have certain criteria. I don't want to show up on that. But what I would like to do, I want to do some unique challenges. I want people to do my leg workouts, and that's what's interesting. You know what I mean? So I try to insert collaborations at least once in 2 weeks, but it's always depends.
Yeah.
It's also I have to balance with the time and work, and I wish I could have all the time for the YouTube project, and hopefully I will.
Yeah.
But for now, I have to balance, and I have to choose what is more beneficial in my case, because that's just how it works. You know, people come up with something that works for both of them.
Awesome. And you mentioned, Igor, that your intentions at the start are around about wanting to try to help on a global scale, help as many people as you can. Have you got, I guess, what are your thoughts and takes on, or strategy, or plan in terms of how you're looking to try to do that? Is it obviously you've got YouTube, obviously got Instagram? Are there any other things that you're working on that you're comfortable enough sharing here in terms of helping you create that impact, that positive impact that you're already having and that you're wanting to continue to have?
It's a zero gravity meditation app.
Zero gravity awesome.
So I'm joking.
Is that
I'm
working?
joking. No, I'm joking. Because you asked about what other ways I'm working on.
Yeah.
No, I'm not working on any other ways. I think the best way is to spread idea, and I can see more people doing zero gravity, and the more people are having fun with that, inviting friends. It's impossible to complete to. I wouldn't, I don't know what kind of, the fitness magazine has to have big balls in order to spread my idea, because it's going to go against all of their ideas that they print there. So it's by saying that it's almost impossible to compete with all those supplements and all that. But what's important is when people know that what is really definition of strength, what is really the definition of going through fatigue, what is it really human athleticism, and it's all about that they will be put in the right direction. At least if they're not going to start acting right now, they're going to keep that in mind, because people keep sending me messages saying, my friend, I mean, each time I go to the gym, I can't do the same weightlifting workout anymore after hearing you. And that's good, because then you will lift your ass, you take the kettlebell, and you start doing some kind of practical sets that not only disable you, but open you up. And what is, I guess, the most important idea, guys, the most important, because everything I do right now is whatever I figured out for myself, to how to eat, how to train, because I cannot train the same stuff all the time. I can't. It's like, there's so much to try. I don't want to go the same thing. Just slightest change of the amplitude, maybe pause somewhere, maybe more or less, and the workout becomes different. And that creates the interesting consistency. And the consistency is probably the number one important thing in every process, including in training. And so I make the consistency interesting, so people are not stuck trying to get 23 or 25 push-ups all the time, week by week. Today 23, tomorrow 26, next day 19. Then he had COVID, he only did 5, and he's stuck with this moment. Each workout, here you need to jump, here you need to turn your core, here you need to whatever, like everything. And the person gets excited of just trying different moves. And can you imagine throughout the whole, let's say, year or even more, how many new physical moves muscle memory will catch? Can you believe? And then the body becomes fluid, and you progress everywhere. You want to progress like everywhere. And
Awesome.
That creates consistency interesting. That's what I'm driven by,
Brilliant, man. That sounds very cool. Sorry, Lee.
No, sorry, I was just listening away now.
Yeah, cool. I got another one. So even though you mentioned the app was a joke, is that something you would consider, creating an app around what you do?
No.
No?
Well, no, it's not definite. See, app, when you tell me about fitness app, what comes in my mind is like, choose the body of this, you want body of this, you do. So they don't make any sense to me, so it's questionable, because app will put me in a category with apps, But maybe if I would create a certain library and I will put, let's say, separate the library by options, maybe yes. But again, it's so hard to say, because I want to see at least commercial project and more like really beneficial.
Yeah.
So I basically work for idea. You know what I mean?
Cool. No, it's all good.
So I take it we won't be seeing a collab with the Liver King at any point.
App with the Liver King?
No, a collab.
A collaboration with the Liver
Oh,
King.
collab.
Yeah.
No, man, I don't think so. I think he is very commercial. He protects his image. So like
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna last for quite a while. I think he is promoted right now with whatever business project. It's gonna stay for a little bit and then he's gonna disappear, shave beard, and
Yeah.
keep back to his posing trunks.
Oh, hey, I got some rapid fire questions for you, Igor, if that's all right. Is that okay with you?
Everything. Yes, of
All
course.
right. Favorite training song or genre of music that you like to listen to when you are exercising?
Well, depends what kind of exercising. Doing jump rope, warming up, training.
Hey. We'll ask the questions here. No, just joking. So let's say,
I like instrumental rap. The instrumental from rap songs without lyrics. That's my favorite.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Instrumental without the lyrics, rap. If you could only do one exercise, so I'm taking away, we're restricting everything. You can't do all the other varieties and stuff that you obviously do and have. You could only do one exercise. What would it be?
Burpees with push-up and squat jump, arms up.
I love how you managed to squeeze some other bits in there with the burpee. Yep, burpee. That's awesome. Do you have a favorite quote or anything or something that you think about that comes to mind that either adds to you having purpose or that you find helpful for yourself or that you might share with clients that you consult with?
Yes, I think, yes, definitely. I like that the quote, not mine, but somebody's. Don't tell everybody how hard you work. Show what you have earned, you know?
Awesome.
Because everybody works hard. Everybody like hard work. But maybe it's not a solution, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I like it.
So don't tell everybody how hard you work. What was the last part of that? Sorry.
Show them what you've got, something
Show
like
them.
that.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Favorite food? What's your favorite food?
Salmon soup.
Salmon soup.
Let's put it Siberian salmon soup.
Siberian salmon soup. Triple
Yeah.
S.
Yes.
Siberian salmon soup. Now, are you familiar with the term? This is off script a little bit because it's not one of the rapid fire questions, but are you familiar with the term soup sandwich?
Not really, no.
Lee,
maybe when you dip bread in the soup and then eat it.
That's what I would have thought. That's what I would have thought, but Lee will explain.
That's a Scottish classic, actually. A big bit of bread in your soup.
Soup, yeah.
It's just it's a buppy that looks like utter shit, basically.
That's what a soup sandwich is. I think that comes from Iron Wolf, eh?
Yeah, really bad technique. It looks like you're having sex with the floor.
Lee, you don't look like a soup man.
You can't eat soup with a beard like this.
Or you eat salmon soup and it's all over your beard like a real Viking, you know?
That's funny you mentioned that. We were just talking about that, eh, Lee?
You can't get the bread in the soup because the fucking beard's in it.
All right. Hey,
I'm jealous. I'm sorry. I can't grow my beard. I tried, but it's not thick enough. So I'm looking at you and thinking maybe I wish I could half of that.
I only started growing this in my 40s, so you've still got a few years yet. Maybe when you're a little bit older.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Igor, ice cream or meat pie? Which would you choose?
Ice cream, of course.
All right. Chocolate or ice cream?
Ice cream, of course.
Oh, ice cream. Pizza or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Ice cream
Pizza,
is unanimous.
but in this one, I don't eat pizza because I don't like cheese.
Ah, okay. All right.
If there's no pizza with no cheese, then still ice cream.
Okay. Hey, I've got last 3 questions for you from my side on here. The Glasgow Rangers play what sport?
Ice hockey.
All right, hold there. I'll ask you this next one, and then we'll confirm the answers. The All Blacks play what sport?
Baseball.
All right. So, go Lee, Glasgow Rangers first.
Football.
Play football,
Football.
soccer.
I thought a Russian would have known that.
What?
I thought a Russian would have known like what football related question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that one.
I thought a Russian would have known his football teams.
Which one are your favorite?
Glasgow Rangers.
Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see. I mean, but there's no ice hockey Glasgow Rangers, right?
I don't know actually.
They must be not that good, so I don't know.
Oh, right. Okay. Cut this podcast. Cut this podcast.
And coming back to your one about the New Zealand All Blacks or the All Blacks, no, they don't play baseball. They play rugby union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. That's all right. There's my last question for you before I hand over to Lee, and then we look to allow you some time to make any shout outs that you might want to mention. Finish this sentence, please, Igor. My favorite podcast is...
Glasgow Rangers.
We're going to try that once more. So Glasgow Rangers are not a podcast. Let's forget about them. My favorite podcast is...
My favorite podcast is with the Joe and Lee. I wish I knew the name. What is the name of this podcast?
That's even better. Move, Sweat and Suffer is the name of the podcast, but that's all good because we will send it through to you. So we were just going to keep going.
Okay.
But man, it's mate, from my side, I'd love to reconnect with you again. I'm just mindful of the time. I really, from my side, mate, really appreciate not only your time, but your honesty and everything that you've spoken about and shared. Love the way that you communicate about from your perspective and the things that you're trying to do and bring. And I think you just summed up nicely for us what the title of this particular podcast will be in terms of living with a purpose. I love how you've found yourself, your identity, and how you've shared some of your journey with us. We feel very privileged. I know I do feel very privileged that you would take the time and share some of that, and how you're striving to live your purpose with regards to helping as many people as you can by doing the amazing work that you do. I know we didn't dwell a lot on burpees and stuff like that from our side here, but it's great to know and hear that if you could only choose and do one exercise, it would be the burpee with some squats and jumps and some other bits in between. So we really appreciate what you bring to this community, what you bring. So we know that you've got your own piece of the community in terms of what you do, which people really resonate with. And we resonate with it as well. That's part of the reason why we wanted to have you on the podcast, having these different aspects and perspectives in on here so that people can draw from that and learn from you. And mate, just in closing, thank you very much once again for being on the Move, Sweat and Suffer podcast with Lee Hazard and myself, and wish you all the very best and look forward to reconnecting with you again down the track.
Thank you so much, guys. I had so much fun. I'm looking at the clock right now. This felt like wasn't too much time, but it's been quite a while. Thank you so much. And so next time I'll be better prepared. Sorry for my camera quality.
Oh, good, man.
And thank you. So shout out, right? Shout out.
Yeah, do some shout outs, please, mate, to whoever you want to mention.
So I want to shout out to everybody who is in the calisthenics community, guys. We're doing the right part. We're making people healthier, stronger in the right way. I want to shout out to my friend Physical Intensity for being there since beginning. I want to shout out to my friend Vladimir. What was his YouTube name? Vladimir, create a better YouTube name so I can remember you. I want to shout out to everybody who is in the Zero Gravity group. And I want to shout out to my woman, Laura, who is supportive in everything I do and who was very, very instrumental to helping me achieve the good mindset, that I am right now and everything.
Awesome,
thank you.
Brother. Thank you very much, man. Awesome. Lee, you can wrap it up, brother.
I'd just like to say that it was a pleasure to finally talk to Igor. I find him a fascinating character. I find them very inspirational. I don't know if there's anyone on the training circuit like him. His workouts are very unique. And yeah, I had a lot of fun listening to him. It was a very insightful conversation with a lot of things to take and process myself. So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks very much, gents. Really
Thank you.
appreciate this. Have a great day, Igor. And if you can just stay on the line once I hit stop, it'll just download. But thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, of course. Bye.